Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Hope all of you are fine and safe by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to your chemistry class. Today I will start a new chapter, that is chapter 11. And from this chapter today I will discuss about physical change and chemical change. So let's start the class. Physical change. In Bengali, this is bhauto poriborton. What is physical change? The change of matter which leads the transformation in the state or shape but does not create a new substance and keeps the properties of matter unchanged are called physical change. That means the change of a matter in which only the physical state or its shape. Physical state means how many physical states of a matter? There are 3 physical states, isn't it? Solid, liquid and gas. So the change of a matter in which only the physical state, that means either solid can turn from into its liquid state, or liquid substance turns into its gaseous state, or solid substance turns into its gaseous state. Like this way, only the physical state will be changed or its shape will be changed, but properties remain unchanged. That means not formation of any new substance from the previous substance. So this type of change is called physical change. For example, melting, boiling, cutting into small pieces, etc. Melting means in Bengali we call it golon. That means the process in which a solid substance is turned into its liquid state due to applying heat is called melting. That means when we want to melt something, then what we will do? We just apply heat to that solid substance, isn't it? Only solid substance can melt because this is in solid state. When we will apply heat to that solid substance, then it will consume that heat and convert it into its liquid state. So when a solid substance turns into liquid state, that process by applying heat, that process is called melting. Follow this picture. This is ice melting, isn't it? You say that means here we didn't apply heat, okay, because we know that the temperature of ice formation is 0 degree centigrade, and when this ice inside the refrigerator there is 0 degree centigrade, for this ice remains in solid state. But when we bring it outside of the refrigerator, and we know that our atmospheric temperature far more than 0 degree centigrade is about 25 to 30 degree centigrade. So when it brings out from the refrigerator, it already starts to melting. Here atmospheric temperature actually acts as applying heat. Understood, my dear students? For this, ice is melting in atmospheric temperature. Now follow this picture. This is candle, lighting of candle, isn't it? And this is already you have seen when you lighted a candle, after sometimes some parts of candle, that is wax, is melted due to heat, isn't it? So also we can see here melting of wax from solid state to liquid state. So this melting is also a physical change. Follow here, from this change only this ice turns from its solid to liquid state. This wax turns from solid to liquid state, but its properties will not change, its properties remain unchanged. For this changing, that is solid to liquid, this changing is known as physical change. Follow the another picture. Here chocolate is melted. We know that when our atmospheric temperature is increases, then this type of chocolate is melted, isn't it? Here also this is physical change, because this chocolate just turns from solid to liquid state, not physical properties or chemical properties is changed here. And also follow this picture. This is melting of butter. When we hold a piece of butter on heat, then we will see this type of scene, isn't it? This type of picture we will see in that type. So this is also melting, and this is also a physical change. Now we will know about boiling. Boiling is the same process of melting, just here physical state will turn from liquid to gas due to applied heat. So definition will be like this way: the process in which a liquid substance is turned into its gaseous state due to applying heat is called boiling. This is also very familiar to us, because in winter season for bathing we will use boiled water, isn't it? And in not only for this purpose, daily we will boiling water for making tea or etc. So boiling water, follow here, water is boiled, and previously water is in liquid state, and when it will boil, then it converted into its gaseous state, isn't it? So this boiling is just a physical change, because in liquid state the chemical composition of water remain unchanged in its gaseous state. This is just water vapor, but chemical composition remain same. No chemical change occurs. This is just change of physical state, liquid to gas. So this is also physical change. Like this way, another changes are where not properties are not changed, such as if we cut a big piece into small pieces, then here just only physical shape is changed, not any properties is changed. For example, follow this picture, broken pencil. That means if we broke a pencil, then it will make two pieces, small pieces, isn't it? But the pencil properties of pencil, characteristics of pencil or activities of pencil are not changed, isn't it? Just its shape is changed here. Previously it was in big size, now it is in small size. So this type of change is actually known as physical change. I hope you clearly understand. Now I will talk about chemical change. Chemical change, the change of matter in which one or more than one substance transforms completely into a new substance having different properties, is called chemical change. That means in this type of change we will see from one substance or more than one substance, they actually react and they produce totally a new substance, and the properties of new substance will be totally different from the properties of old substance. So this type of change is called chemical change. And the example of chemical change, actually all the chemical reactions. That means if you see any change where chemical reaction occur, this change is the example of chemical change. Chemical change means there must happen a chemical reaction. Understood, my dear students? Already you have known about some chemical change. In standard 6 also you have learned. Have you remember, you have read about rust formation in your previous chapter, rust formation, isn't it? Already you have learned in your previous chapter, that is chapter 6, how rust is formed. Have you remember? When any ionic substance is kept in open air, then it reacts with atmospheric oxygen and water or water vapor and form a reddish brown colored layer of hydrated ferric oxide, which is known as actually rust. So what is actually here iron just converted into, follow here white or gray colored iron converted into reddish brown colored iron. And how this reddish brown colored iron is not the color change of iron, this is actually rust formation, isn't it? And this rust is formed how? Through a chemical reaction, isn't it? So this rust formation is the example of chemical change, because after forming rust the activity or chemical properties or reactivity of iron will be totally changed. The iron will loses its reactivity and also its strength. That means its properties will be changed after forming rust formation on iron. So this rust formation is actually a chemical change. And not only iron is rusted, also another metal such as aluminium. This is actually aluminium. Aluminium is also rusted when it is kept in open air. Follow here, aluminium is rusted, forming aluminium oxide, that means reacting with atmospheric oxygen. Also another metal, copper. Copper is also rusted. Follow here, this is the Statue of Liberty and it was made with copper, but due to oxidation, that means due to reaction of this copper with atmospheric oxygen, it is oxidized and turned into its green color. Follow here, this is copper color, and now at present its color change is just follow here. Actually this color change not physical properties. Here actually copper reacts with atmospheric oxygen and converted into copper oxide, and the color of copper oxide is green. For this Statue of Liberty now hold the green color. So here rusting of copper or decaying of copper, rusting is actually only rusting is happened in case of iron, but in this is also actually decaying process. Decaying means corrosion, destroying process of metal, isn't it? Through rusting, iron is gradually decayed or corroded. So in case of other metal, aluminium is decayed here, copper is decayed here. So decaying of metal is also example of chemical change. But also there are another metals which are not decayed naturally. They are actually not decayed because they are inert element. Inert means they have no tendency to react with atmospheric other components. For example, gold. You know that gold is very inert element. Inert element means it has no tendency to react with other elements. For this we can use this gold metal in making ornaments, and we frequently use this. If it is react with other elements, then we can't use easily, isn't it? And for this it is also so precious metal. Also platinum. This platinum ring, this platinum is also another important, precious, costly inert element. It is also not easily decayed in atmosphere. So my dear students, these are the actually example of chemical change. But this decaying of metal is not useful, isn't it? Because decaying of metal is a destruction process. It gradually decreases the strength or reactivity of that metal. So we should stop it. Now my dear students, follow this picture. Can you guess anything? What is the picture of it? This is the window grill picture, isn't it? Follow the another picture. This is a bed. But both pictures, a common material is used in making this window grill and this bed. Can you say what is this materials? Yes, this is stainless steel. You heard SS pipe, isn't it? SS for stainless steel. So this stainless steel, follow this is the stainless steel pipe. So this stainless steel is what? This is actually prepared by mixing carbon, nickel and chromium with iron. It is mainly a mixture of molten metals which is several times stronger and harder than iron, and most importantly it is rust free. That means stainless steel is not only a single metal. It is prepared by the mixing of carbon, nickel, chromium and iron. How? At first all these metals are turns into its liquid state due to applying heat, that means melted. Then they are mixed with each other, and then again due to applying heat it is and then due to cooling it is again converted into a solid metal mixture, and it brings stainless steel. Like this way, this stainless steel now become more stronger, more harder than iron, and also it is rust free now. Why? Because here iron cannot be directly reacts with the oxygen or water, isn't it? Because inside this also carbon, nickel and chromium present. So for this it will not be rusted, and in this stainless steel the amount of iron is more, about 65%, and other metals are rest percents are present in other metals. So like this way, making stainless steel, actually we turn the ionic substance is rust free, because previously you know that this window grill is made by iron, isn't it? And after some days we have seen that window grills are rusted, and once upon a time it is just destroyed. So to overcome this problem, to formation of rust, actually this stainless steel nowadays it is invented by in this way, by mixing carbon, nickel and chromium with this iron. So we can say this is actually a process to prevent rust, isn't it? And now we will know about more methods about rust prevention. Actually if we conscious, then we can easily prevent rust. For example, we know that rust is formed for the reason of oxygen and water, isn't it? So if we keep the ionic substance such as spade or spike or wax, which are actually we use in our daily life, if we keep this in dry place, that means far from water, then it will not be rusted easily. Or some ionic substance such as needles or nails, if we keep it in oil or grease, if we preserve this, then it will not be rusted easily. So like this way we can consciously, if we use this type of ionic stuffs, then it will not be rusted easily. But also some ionic stuffs which are actually daily use, and these are very costly, and we can prevent rust in this way. For this, some other methods are also used to prevent rust. For example, galvanizing. Especially our agricultural equipments made of iron, isn't it? So if we these agricultural equipments are galvanized, then it will not be rusted. So we have to know what is galvanizing process. Galvanizing, actually it is a process to give layer of zinc in an ionic stuff. This layer protects iron from oxygen and water. For this, rust cannot be formed on iron. That means this is the coating of zinc. You have to remember, this is the coating of zinc on ionic stuff, and this process is known as galvanizing process. Now how it is done? Follow this. In industry, this is the zinc solution, melted zinc, and in this melted zinc we just the ionic stuffs are immersed inside the melted zinc, and like this way layer is formed on these ironic stuffs. Like this way actually galvanizing process is done. Follow another pictures, follow here. This is the zinc solution, and the ironic substance are actually immersed in this solution in industry, and like this way galvanizing process is done. So this galvanizing process is so useful for the agricultural equipments. So if all agricultural equipments are galvanized, then it will be rust free. Now another processing is painting. You are very familiar to this because our refrigerators are also our shelves, and also cars and other many items which are daily used in our daily life. So if we paint this, and their body parts actually made of iron, but if we paint this with different color, then it will be rust free. Why? Because in that time iron cannot directly contact with the atmospheric oxygen and water. For this, rust will not form on these ironic parts. So this type of items actually we will paint it. We can rust free by painting, isn't it? Now another important process is electroplating. Electroplating is what? Electroplating, it is a process of making a layer of metal, generally nickel, chromium, tin, silver, gold, etc. This type of metal, layer of this type of metal in the surface of other metals such as iron, copper, etc. through electrolysis. It not only prevents the erosion of metal but also increases the attraction and shine. That means electroplating means what? Electroplating is also a formation of layer of one metal on the other metal, but using electrolysis, applying electricity. And for this, that metal is covered by the another metal which is not rusted. And also not only this, also for electroplating the ironic or copper substance is also it increases its attraction or shine. For example, follow here, this is electroplating of jewelry. This is a jewelry item. So for example, if you make it in iron, or if you make it in nickel, and now if you want to cover this ironic jewelry item with copper color is very nice color, orange, reddish orange color, copper color. So how can you do this? If you just make it with iron, then it will be easily rusted and you can use this as ornaments. So if you make a color of copper, coating a copper, then it will be so shiny and attractive, isn't it? And how will you do this? You have to do in a process. This process is known as electrolysis process, which you will learn about this electrolysis process in higher class, that is standard 9. Here just you have to follow this. Here using copper, like this way, using electricity. This is electricity and this is electric wire. Using electricity from copper, these copper atoms are just making a cover or making a layer on this ironic jewelry item. Like this way, all copper atoms are make a layer on this ironic substance, or cover this. Like this way, this jewelry item covered by or electroplated by copper. Like this way, you can use here gold, you can use here silver, you can use here nickel. Our wristwatch, they are generally electroplated by nickel, chromium, and also our cans of food, milk cans, or also different cans for food item, preservation of food item. These pots are also electroplated by tin, like this way. And different jewelry items are gold plated or silver plated, so these are doing by this electroplating process. This process and this reaction is known as actually electrolysis. Follow here, these all are copper plated items. Here Here actually these are made of iron, but here these are electroplated by copper. So like this way also we can prevent rust. So my dear students, today up to this, I hope you can clearly understand about the physical change, chemical change, and also rust prevention methods. Next class I will discuss about new topic. Today up to this, goodbye.